Edward Jessup works at Columbia University. He studies psychopathology and schizophrenia. He is interested in altered states of consciousness, and he puts forward the idea that they can be as real as the usual waking state. To test the hypothesis, he begins experiments with sensory deprivation, using a special isolation tank with water. His colleagues Arthur Rosenberg and Mason Parrish help him with this. At one of the faculty events, Edward meets Emily, a young scientist. Their acquaintance develops into a relationship, and later they get married. More than 10 years pass. Edward is now a professor at Harvard Medical School. He and Emily have 2 children, but their marriage is on the verge of divorce. Years later, they meet the same couple of friends who once introduced them. During this period, Edward learns about the Hinchi tribe in Mexico, which has rituals with hallucinogenic substances that allow one to experience altered states of consciousness. Edward goes to Mexico. A guide takes him through the mountainous regions where the tribe collects plants for their ceremonies. One of the main components of the ritual drink is a mixture based on a sacred mushroom and the cinecuic shrub, which evokes vivid memories. The elder of the tribe prepares the mixture for Edward, adding drops of his blood. After drinking the drink, Edward plunges into vivid hallucinations. He sees pictures of ancient times, scenes of destruction and petrification. The next morning, in an altered state, he kills a large lizard, which was considered a sacred animal by the tribe. Edward returns to the United States, bringing with him a sample of the ritual substance for analysis and further experiments. At home, he continues to use the substance along with sensory deprivation to enhance the effects. Over time, taking the drug becomes too dangerous for health due to its toxicity, and Edward decides to limit himself to immersion in an isolation tank. In an abandoned laboratory, he equips a tank for experiments. During these procedures, he begins to see increasingly powerful and realistic visions. In one of them, he experiences the state of a primitive man. Colleagues notice that he comes out of the tank in a strange state with physical changes. In X-rays, his body even resembles the structure of primates. Edward does not stop. In the next experiment, he actually changes his shape, turning into a wild caveman. In this form, he goes out into the street, behaves aggressively, and even ends up in a zoo where he attacks animals. After that, he returns to his human form, but confirms for himself that his experiments are capable of influencing the biological state. Despite the danger, he continues his research. In the final phase of the experiments, he reaches an even deeper level of regression. In the isolation tank, his body transforms into an amorphous mass that resembles primordial living matter. This form emits a powerful energy wave that damages the lab and knocks down colleagues. The tank is destroyed. Emily is nearby. She sees how a funnel forms in the place of the tank, from which energy emanates. Edward is inside, on the verge of completely dissolving in the energy field and turning into an incorporeal state. Emily manages to pull him out. Edward is brought home hoping that his transformations will stop, but the process continues. Even without drugs and isolation, he begins to regress again. His body is engulfed in metamorphosis. At this moment, Emily is next to him. When she touches him, she is also enveloped in the energy field. This prompts Edward to fight the process. By an effort of will, he returns to his human form. Edward finally regains control over himself and his body. His transformations stop. He remains in human form next to Emily.